Welcome to the Immigrantinlaw channel. You've sent your CV, received that long-awaited response from the employer, and now you've been invited to an interview at a European company. Congratulations, this is already a big step forward. But it is precisely at this stage that many candidates start to feel anxious. How should you behave? What should you say? What questions will they ask? How important is English? And how can you avoid ruining your first impression? In this video, we'll break down how to prepare for an interview, what makes European employers unique, and what really helps you navigate the interview with confidence. If you're considering relocating to Europe for work or want to build an international career, this video will help you understand the entire process, from the interview invitation to a successful job offer. The first thing to understand is that an interview at a European company isn't an exam where they try to catch you making a mistake. More often than not, it's a dialogue between two parties. The employer assesses whether you're a good fit for the company, and you assess whether the company is a good fit for you. In Europe, great attention is paid not only to professional skills, but also to how well a person can communicate, work in a team, accept feedback, and respect work processes. Yes, experience and knowledge are important. But if a candidate can't calmly explain their decisions, interrupts the interviewer, speaks too generally, or can't provide practical examples, this can lower their chances even with a strong CV. So your task isn't just to say that you're a good professional, your task is to show exactly how you work, how you think, how you solve problems, and how you can be useful to a specific company. One of the most common mistakes is showing up for an interview knowing almost nothing about the company. Many candidates think, I'll just read the job description and that's enough. But for a European employer, a candidate's preparation sends an important signal. Be sure to review the company's website before the interview. See what the company does, what products or services it offers, in which countries it operates, and what values it highlights in public sources. It's also helpful to check the company's LinkedIn page, recent news, employee posts, and reviews about the workplace. You don't need to know every little detail, but you should understand exactly where you want to work. Before the interview, carefully review the job offer. Separate the requirements into several categories: required skills, preferred skills, responsibilities, and personal qualities. For example, if the job offer lists customer service experience, B2 English, project management skills, analytical thinking, prepare a brief example from your own experience for each point. European interviewers appreciate specifics. The fewer general phrases and the more concrete examples you provide, the more convincing you will appear. Almost every interview begins with the request, "Tell us about yourself," and this is exactly where many people get tripped up. Some start recounting their entire life story, some keep it too brief, and others get bogged down in details that are irrelevant to the job. A good self-introduction should take about 1 to 2 minutes. You can structure it as follows. First, who you are professionally. Then, what experience you have. Next, your strengths. And finally, why you're interested in this position. During an interview, you may be asked behavioral questions. For example, tell me about a challenging situation you faced at work. Have you ever experienced conflict within a team? How do you handle deadlines? Tell me about a project you're proud of. For these types of answers, it's helpful to use the STAR method. S, situation. What was the situation? T, task. What was the task you faced? A, action. What exactly did you do? R, result. What was the outcome? For example, if you're asked about a conflict within the team, don't say, "I'm not a confrontational person." That doesn't happen to me. In real-world work, disagreements happen, and that's normal. It's important to demonstrate a mature approach. This means you know how to analyze the situation and seek a solution rather than simply avoiding problems. If you're interviewing with a European company and considering a relocation, the employer may ask, "Are you ready to relocate? When can you start working? Do you have a work permit? Do you understand the paperwork process? Are you moving alone or with your family?" It's important to answer honestly and calmly. Don't promise the impossible. If you don't know the exact timeline for processing the paperwork, it's better to say, "I'm ready to relocate and understand that the process may take some time. I'm currently reviewing the requirements and I'm ready to promptly provide the documents the employer will need." If you have a family, don't hide it. For European companies, this is a normal part of the planning process. The main thing is to show that you take the matter seriously and understand that relocation requires preparation. Many candidates worry about their English, but it's important to understand that for most employers, what matters most isn't a perfect accent or complex grammar, but the ability to express your thoughts clearly. If you don't understand a question, it's better to ask for clarification. That's perfectly fine. Don't try to use overly complex phrases if you're not confident in them. It's better to use simple and clear sentences. An interview isn't a language contest, it's a professional conversation. Before the interview, prepare answers in English to key questions. Tell them about yourself, your work experience, your strengths, why you're interested in the position, your salary expectations, and whether you're willing to relocate. Also, practice speaking out loud. Even 20-30 minutes of practice a day before the interview will help you feel more confident. The question of salary often makes people uncomfortable, but in European business culture, discussing compensation is perfectly normal. The key is to approach it professionally. Before the interview, research the average salary for your profession in the specific country and city. Take into account your experience, taxes, the cost of living, and the work arrangement, remote, hybrid, or in office. Don't just throw out a number at random. Preparing for this question demonstrates your maturity and understanding of the market. At the end of the interview, you'll almost always be asked, "Do you have any questions?" Answering no, everything is clear, isn't the best option. Asking questions demonstrates your interest and helps you assess the company. You might ask, what will be the main responsibilities for someone in this role during the first 3 months? How is the team structured? How do you measure success in this role? Are there opportunities for professional development? What is the onboarding process like for new employees? How does the company assist employees with relocation? Questions like these show that you're thinking not only about getting the job offer, but also about the actual work you'll be doing once you join the company. European companies may differ in their communication styles. In some places, communication is more formal. In others, it's more casual. But there are a few general principles that almost always work. Be punctual. For an online interview, it's best to log in 3 to 5 minutes before it starts. Speak calmly and respectfully. Don't interrupt the interviewer. Answer the questions directly. Don't exaggerate your experience. Admit if you don't know something, but add that you can quickly figure it out. Most initial interviews are conducted online. That's why technical preparation is also important. Check your internet connection, camera, microphone, and lighting. Choose a quiet place where you won't be distracted. Make sure your background looks neat. Charge your laptop or plug it into a power source. Have your CV, the job description, and a list of questions nearby, but don't read your answers from a sheet of paper. The interviewer will quickly notice if you sound unnatural. Your goal is to appear composed, calm, and professional. After the interview, you can send a brief thank you note. This isn't a mandatory step, but it leaves a good impression. Such a note demonstrates politeness, interest, and a professional attitude. So, to successfully pass an interview at a European company, it's not enough to simply have a good CV. You need to prepare for the conversation, research the company, analyze the job offer, prepare examples from your experience, practice your answers in English, and think through questions about relocation, salary, and future responsibilities in advance. A European employer isn't looking for the perfect person, but rather a clear, reliable, and professional candidate. Someone who can explain their decisions, work in a team, and speak honestly about their experience. If you are planning to relocate to Europe and want to understand which country and which legalization route is right for you, submit a request for a free consultation with Immigrantinlaw's lawyers. We'll develop the optimal relocation strategy for you, prepare all the necessary documents, explain the nuances of the law in detail, and answer all your questions. We'll analyze your case, your goals, and your situation without using templates. Want to learn more or start the process today? Contact us. All contact details are listed in the description below this video. We're here to help you take a confident step toward a new life. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ask your questions in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Discover a world of opportunities with Immigrantinlaw.